Hi. So this is the first way of finding the percent composition. And in this question, you are going to see that I've actually given you grams. So in that case, all you have to do is we know the mass of the compound. Now you could put mass of sucrose or however you want to, is 9.79 grams. We know the mass of carbon, 4.12 grams. We were given the mass of hydrogen, 0.63 grams. And we were given the mass of oxygen, which is 5.04 grams. Now what's interesting about this, and this might remind you of some word problems you did in grade school, math class. All three of these masses add up to give you 9.79 grams. Those are the only elements that made up the compound. Now, in a trickier question, I may only give you two of these masses and the mass of the compound and not give you the mass of oxygen. But obviously, if you subtracted these two masses from the mass of the compound, any leftover mass would be the mass of oxygen. Okay? Just to kind of set that up. All right. To find this, it's very easy. It's pretty much how you would find the percent that you'd get on an assignment or test or something like that. This is the total mass, and then think of this as the mass or the mark that each one of these elements got. So if I want to know the percent of carbon, I'm going to take the mass of carbon divided by the mass of the compound and multiply it by 100%. And when I do that, I get 42.08%. Now, another helpful hint on this, keep your percentages to the same number of decimal places, whether you're going to go 1 decimal place, 2, 3. If you have them to different decimal places, that's going to run into a problem with what I show you in a minute. So for hydrogen, you're going to take the mass of hydrogen divided by the mass of the compound, multiply it by 100. .44%. And then the mass of oxygen, or the percent of oxygen, 5.04 divided by 9.79, which is the mass of the compound, times 100. And when I do that calculation, .48%. Now, what should happen is if you take this percent, and this percent, they should all add up to 100%, because those are the only elements that made up the compound. So if they don't add up to 100, then one of two things has happened. If you're far off from 100, then you made a critical math mistake. If you're off just by a decimal place, so you have 99.99 or 100.1 or something like that, then more than likely you made a mistake somewhere in these answers in your rounding. Okay? So that's what you're going to want to look for.